Good morning, afternoon, evening, gamers. So I said when I was showing you the Conan Castle that I had something else that I wanted to touch on, and this is it. So I said those two would tie in, whilst not necessarily being the same thing. If you didn't watch the Conan video and you want to, do feel free to. If you don't, that's okay. No, no, never ever going to be any pressure. But I did want to talk about this because I do see it as being something that it certainly can be problematic, and I've seen it over the last sort of couple of years. Maybe it seems it's always been a thing, but it seems to be getting a little bit worse. I don't know how much of this video I want to show because it is Connor's video. So this is Connor, or Sea Dog. Very, very popular YouTube. I like him. And his friend Iron Mouse, who I also have come to really like and really quite admire and respect. So we'll watch a bit of it and then discuss, and obviously down below, give your feelings to this. Please be respectful. It's okay to have an opinion, and what I was saying in the Conan video, constructive criticism is good. There's something that we can do with that. We can have it opens up a discussion. We can talk about things. There's not always a I'm right, you're wrong. Often that doesn't matter. But just be respectful, which we're going to talk about. So let's go for a little bit.
This video is going to be a long-winded rant, and if you like that, welcome. Come join the Angry British Man. And if not, don't worry, my normal videos will resume after this one. I just had to talk about this. I feel like online lately, it has been a miserable experience for any of us to be online, and I actively feel that my mental health gets drained slowly using any online platform, especially my personal case, Twitter. I think Twitter allowing people to make money from ads is probably one of the worst changes to any platform in history. Sure, I get $20 here and there for tweeting a funny picture of my giant monkey behind me, but there are those who use it to spread misinformation, lies, just make stuff up, spew absolute vile hatred stuff. It's pretty horrible experience to use it now, as Twitter seems to feel like it only wants outragement bait or tweets that'll make people angry. And if you
I don't think anything he's saying is wrong, but it in some ways it's nothing new. A lot of people, when they talk about social media, there is that negativity. I've always felt that it's not always that clear cut. Social media can do a lot of good. A lot of money raised for charities, I think, is a wonderful thing. Sometimes bringing awareness to things. There's good, but as with anything in life, there is that negativity. But the problem with promoting things that are just not true is that can have very, very dangerous consequences, and can lead to to violence, to loss of life. At the lesser end, though, it just creates so much drama and negativity, and obviously we know that negativity, it sells. Negativity, as humans, we seem to be drawn to more than we do to positive. You don't hear about positive things going on half as much as you hear about negative, because people just seem drawn to it for some reason. They are dissatisfied with their life, and so they want to see other people miserable. Maybe I don't pretend to understand all of it. I've tried to listen to psychologists, but they tend to use these really big words, and if I come across as intelligent sounding or smart sounding, or I use big words, it's not always because I'm necessarily smart. You know, I've read a lot, I've picked up things, but you know, so yeah, I don't pretend to understand all of it. But I will say, on YouTube there is just so much more, and not just YouTube. I don't even go near Twitter. I went on it once, maybe a handful of times, and I've not been on it since. Don't really go on Facebook anymore. What was the other one? WhatsApp I only use with, you know, people I know for setting up like little groups or something. Sometimes like little gaming. Although we tend to use Discord for that more. Snapchat I never really understood. I didn't really get it. I use Instagram a bit. I go on Instagram occasionally, but again, not really. But the thing for me is I can walk away from these things. I don't necessarily have to use any of it. But I feel like for people like Sea Dog, like Mouse, like a lot of influencers. Not sure how I feel about that name, but I guess. But they tend to use social media for their jobs almost. So it's more difficult for them to get away from it. Perhaps I can just go, yeah, nah, I'm not using it, and it's fine. So yeah, I don't know. He's not wrong. It's very strange out there.
You're not seeing that, you're seeing somebody get killed. So it's really just a miserable experience overall. And don't get me started on TikTok and Instagram, which are famous for their brutal comments. And I wouldn't really even use the word brutal, because I think brutal can sometimes mean there's a bit of honesty and fun there, but I would say it's just cruel. Like, just being online right now is cruel. It feels like nobody has any respect for each other. But I don't think I've quite lost as much faith in the internet as I have until now. But look, I'll be honest. This video is about one thing. It's about the weird blanket hatred towards VTubers. I've seen a massive, massive hate train against Iron Mouse, which I don't understand. And I know that you guys aren't the ones doing this. You guys watching this video are very normal and well-adjusted people, and I appreciate that. But there are a lot of people online that seem to just have fun ruining other people's lives. I don't understand it. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I bringing all of this up? Well, don't worry, it'll all make sense. Just get along for the ride and listen to the weird British man rant at you. You see, in 2024, Iron Mouse broke the all-time sub record on Twitch. It was a massive achievement. It was, I'm sure, an amazing and an inspiring moment for all of us, as well as Mouse. Unfortunately, probably what you didn't see was the deluge of vile comments, disturbing threats, and just overall hatred towards Mouse. And I'd love to tell you that this all started here and it's pretty much gone with now, but sadly this is a thing that has been going on for a very, very long time. And this is not just for Mouse. VTubers in general have had to deal with a lot of shit just for being...
I mean, yeah. When I first saw... I think it's a little bit different for me. I always liked animation. Tom and Jerry, yeah, I grew up on this, you know, Tom and Jerry, Roadrunner, Speedy Gonzales, who turns out he was racist apparently, but Mexico loved him. They thought he was great. They were being represented. Probably not all Mexicans, but that was the general sentiment. Mexico liked Speedy Gonzales. But I kind of grew up with that, and the the Disney animated films, ones before they started changing. Hercules is one of my favorite movies. I also liked the Hunchback of Notre Dame as well. Just a couple of just absolutely amazing movies with really great soundtracks. So I've always really liked animation. But when I first saw VTubers, I was like, oh, okay, what's this? This is new. I tend to have a more open attitude towards things. Not everybody has that luxury, perhaps. But I I get it. I understand that going online, maybe more so for women, but I still think there's something to be said for guys as well. But you know, for women, it can be daunting, and you may not want, you may want to have some level of privacy for many different reasons. Stalking has, it has been a big thing for streamers and YouTubers. People stalking them, people harassing them. I think there's even been cases of people of these strange people breaking into, like, people, these streamers' homes. It's, that's some terrifying stuff, and just writing some of the most vile, like, hatred. Like, it's a lot of it is so unhinged, and I don't blame people for not wanting to put their, put this out there. I don't know that I should put this out there, but yeah, I understand why VTubing can be, being a VTuber can be a viable path, when making videos. So VTubers are cringe, lazy, and fake. Well, I mean, the VTuber persona, the VTuber image is fake, yes. But cringe and lazy, I mean, what does that mean? How many of us in an IRL job, it's Friday and we don't really feel like doing a lot. Like, most people have done that. Most people, have some less or more level of, interaction with their jobs. Why would it be any different for VTubers, YouTubers, Twitch, Twitchers? Why would that be any different? Because you're a YouTuber, you've got to wake up and you're going to wake up and put 100% into every video. It just doesn't work that way. So this is very just weird. I find it very sickening how VTubers, most especially HoloLive, I don't know what HoloLive is, members get so many fans and white knights. But people white knight for all sorts of things. There's people white knighting for, like, Xbox or PlayStation. That sort of thing is nothing new. Fanboys and just white knights. It's nothing new. I know this is cliche, but as far as I know, they could be a £300 man. Why does that matter? Sitting in his mom's basement. I just can't muster the courage to survive more than 10 seconds of any VTuber content. So don't. If you don't like it, if it's not for you, that's okay. Switch off. Go do something else. Go watch something else. Why did you sit through something that you didn't like and then decide that you wanted to say something? Just don't bother. The amount of videos that I watch on YouTube, and I'll be honest, it wasn't always this way. As you grow older, you do tend to learn, and I've gotten old. Everybody will. But as I've gotten older, I've learnt that I don't have to comment on everything. I don't I don't need to care about everything. There are a lot of videos that I'll watch, and I'll start watching it. I'll decide it's not for me, and just move on. You'd be surprised about the amount of content that I watch, and I don't leave any comments because sometimes I don't have one. I didn't feel about it one way or the other. I've got something negative to say, so I'm not going to say it at all. I mean, there is that as well. Because you watched something and you didn't like it, or something about it bothered you, doesn't mean that you need to write it. Like, just don't bother. I often find I don't do that anymore. And like I said, it wasn't always that way. There are probably there probably are comments out there that I made which were, in retrospect, not a good idea. There was one a while ago. I think it was something about. I can't remember what it was about. And I was off that day. It was definitely a me thing. It was a me problem. And I wrote something. I mean, it's still, whatever it was I wrote was still way tamer than some of the stuff that they write now. I mean, some of it Connor's not going to be able to show, but some of it is so far out there. It was probably nothing like that, but I still felt like a while later, maybe a couple of days later, I thought to myself, I shouldn't have done that. I should have just, walked away. So it's always a lesson we can learn. There's a Buddhist saying, before you speak, let it pass through 3 gates. Is it necessary? So does it add anything to the conversation? Is it kind? And is it necessary? Do you have to add it? Is it, if you do or you don't, is it going to add or subtract anything? If the answer to any of those 3 is no, then just don't speak, don't bother. I might have butchered that a little bit. It's something similar to that. So don't directly quote me on that, but it's something like that. It's basically think before you speak, or maybe go and have a drink, have a cup of tea, think about it. Especially if you're annoyed about something, go away, have a think about it, have a drink, chill out, and then if you still feel the same, which you'll find a lot of the time you won't, then just don't bother, But yeah, it's don't bother, Most of the time they have no personality and play on the over-sexualized avatar. Well, as for the most of the time they have no personality, that can be true of what they call a flesh tuber. So a fleshy person. That's the same. I probably have no personality. Like, people will say that about me, and that's okay. That's fine. But that doesn't matter whether it's a a physical YouTuber or a VTuber. Like, it doesn't make any sense. As for the over-sexualized avatar, I mean, hey, sex sells. It always has, and it always will. And whether you like that or not is kind of irrelevant. It's always been that way, and it probably always will be that way. Trying to deny basic human nature is kind of difficult. Men like boobs. They do. And also from the perspective of the YouTuber, particularly a female YouTuber, and the the physical flesh tubers. It sounds weird saying flesh tuber, but even them, the more attractive ones will be the more popular ones, and they tend to look nice on camera. Not always, not everyone, but generally speaking, they will have some some cleavage and look very attractive, and they make money. It's common sense. Is this what we're really doing now? Are we just trying to pretend that these things don't happen? That the more attractive somebody is, the more successful, to a degree, they're going to be. I mean, come on, it's not difficult. As for, I have heard that this means something else, as in some of the avatars can look underage, and there can be a degree of, that whole underage thing. I don't know anything about. I don't really know about that. I don't understand that. I guess it comes from. I know I was playing Genshin Impact, and some of the characters looked not adult to me, so it made me somewhat, maybe a bit uncomfortable. So maybe it's something to do with that. I don't really know, but I mean that has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with the person using the VTuber. That's something that's quite difficult to control. My best sum up of VTubers is they are corporate manufactured characters to exploit parasocial relationships. I mean, that's been going on for quite a long time as well. Yeah. I don't know. It's just... This is just my opinion, and I don't actively be toxic or degrade them. Well, that's good. You shouldn't need to go online and just... If you don't like it, just, move on. But I do hate them with a burning fashion. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be fashion or passion. I feel like it was supposed to be fashion. I do hate them with a burning passion. I do watch anime and read manga. I mean, I don't know why that was necessary. I don't know. It's just a... I mean, this probably isn't even the worst. Like I said, Connor probably wouldn't be able to put on here some of the stuff that's been written. Some just wild and insane stuff.
An anime girl or boy on the internet. So let's go back in time a little bit so that we can better understand the full scope of this mess. Yes, you got me. This is a video about me defending my friend. 100%. I'm not even trying to hide that. But I also just want to bring a tiny bit of attention to the level of normalized hate that is just for some reason acceptable. And hopefully that, maybe this video can make a tiny bit of a change. Because what some of these creators have to endure is on a level that I've never seen before on the internet. And I've been here for a very long time. 4 years ago, VTubers had a massive explosion in popularity here in the West. Now, obviously, they've been around in Japan for a while because this is very Japanese coded. But, 4 years ago, they blew up and people started getting into them. However, there was a lot of pushback from people like me included who were kind of like, what is this? I don't know what this is. But
I get that it's not going to be for everybody. I get that some people not going to understand it, and that's okay. But I don't... And it's not just VTubers, it's almost anything nowadays. It's like people go looking for things to be mad about. I see things online like, Kim Kardashian's, naked again, or topless picture. Why do you care? Why? What you always have to think about in your mind is it hurting me personally? No? Alright. Is it hurting my family or close friends? No? Then it doesn't really matter. yes, there are some things that have, there are always conversations to be had about, you know, but particularly with growing adults and children about what we expose them to. It's a conversation, but at the same time, adults adults, what they do, that's their choice. And as long as they're generally not hurting anybody, I mean, that's the other thing. If you're just, you know, if you're just doing your job, and you've decided, hey, I would like to be a YouTuber, but I want some privacy. I don't want my face out there like, I don't want to get stalked. I don't want to get harassed. I don't want to be, asked out on dates and, you know, get that sort of attention that I might not want. Okay. So you have a VTuber model. I don't really think it's that difficult to understand. And yes, again, if you don't understand it, sure, okay. But why go after it? And like I was saying, the people that, they're such fanboys over, Xbox, and Xbox is better than PlayStation. Then you've got the PC Master Race, and like, is it all not just a bit stupid? You play Xbox because that was the best deal financially for you. You like the games that it has. Okay. You have PlayStation because you like something that does. Like, the new PlayStation has the VR thing. Maybe that's something that you want. That's maybe something that Xbox doesn't. Like, there's pros and cons to everything. And we as consumers, you decide what it is that you want. Maybe you don't have a lot of space. Computers, they're pretty large. Maybe you don't have the space for it. An Xbox is a lot smaller. There's price differences. Some games you can, or more so, you used to only be able to get on console. It depends on your needs. But I can tell you right now, Sony and Microsoft, they don't care. They don't care whether you like them or not. The only thing that they care about is making money. They're a business. And that is the only way you should ever treat them. And it's the same with anything. I like Nike trainers. But just because somebody else likes Reebok, yeah, because their feet are different to my feet. I've got long werewolf-ass looking feet. And for some reason, Nike trainers they just seem to work better for me. But that doesn't mean that, that works for somebody else. They might want something else. They might not want brand shoes at all, and to be honest, who cares? It just... brand loyalty is kind of stupid. But particularly when it gets to that kind of level whereby you're attacking each other. I mean, liking something that somebody puts out or somebody does, nothing wrong with that necessarily. But when you start defending them so hard, don't attack my PlayStation. Like, really? What are you doing? No, stop it. It's because those companies don't care. It's money. Brand loyalty is, particularly at that level of, I hate to say the word, but toxicity. At that level of toxicity, it's not healthy. It's not good. So, just, if you don't like something, walk away, switch off. Do we really need to have all this just drama and nonsense? Especially when it starts getting really, quite dark and, quite twisted sometimes, and some of the vilest, stuff is being said. That affects people, But people aren't immune to that. You can affect people's day by what you say. Everything you do has consequences. And you kind of really need to think about that. And was it Mike Tyson who said that people have got way too comfortable saying stuff when they know that they can't get punched in the face? I definitely feel like he's right. Would you say it if you were standing in front of that person? Would you? I feel like a lot of people wouldn't. They wouldn't. Having that being anonymous behind the keyboard and then just saying stuff that, okay, thinking it in your head is one thing. We all think things about things sometimes, but you don't say it. There's that inside voice, outside voice. And some things should never be spoken out loud. And I feel like this is a common sense that people just, I don't know, they've forgotten. They don't understand. Not everything needs to be said. And particularly if you're saying something about somebody that is potentially a criminal offence or is highly morally, bankrupt, you need to have receipts, because that is defamation of character at the very least, or slander, because you are saying something about somebody who, if it's not true, I feel like, and I'm all for freedom of speech, I really am, and I don't like censorship, particularly for adults necessarily, but there still has to be a line. There has to be some balance. Just saying anything off the top of your head, I don't feel like that's helpful for society. I don't. How you word things, how you say things, and the things that are unspoken, that used to be a thing. But now everybody is just extremely comfortable in just putting it all out there and expecting, and there not being any consequences for their actions. We as human beings, we have to have consequences for our actions, because if we didn't, there'd just be absolute chaos, which would not be a good thing. So I don't know. That's how I feel about it. Again, you guys let me know what you think, but I don't think it's a good direction.
Like it, but I don't know yet. I don't know, I gotta see. And I'm sure any VTuber who was around in this era could tell you the amount of hatred that was given out towards VTubers. Like, why are you using a voice changer? Are you a man? Are you an AI, perhaps? Pretty uninspired, insulting comments. And during this boom is when a lot of people found Iron Mouse as well. Now, Iron Mouse had actually been streaming a long time before this as well, but it wasn't until this moment where a lot of VTubers were on Twitch and kind of getting great viewership. Now, obviously, VTubers choose to be represented by an avatar for a multitude of reasons, but for Mouse, it was for anonymity, which is why most VTubers do it. And now, look, I cannot talk for Mouse. Mouse is their own person, but Mouse has been sick for a very long time with a multitude of illnesses, but the main one being primary immune deficiency. Primary immune deficiency is slightly different to autoimmune diseases that you might have heard about. Autoimmune diseases are where your immune system kind of attacks itself, whereas primary immune deficiency means that your immune system just doesn't work or doesn't work very well. And I'm sure a lot of my viewers are familiar with this because I'm always raising money for charities that want to find cures and support people with primary immune deficiencies. I mess it up all the time. When you have a really bad case of primary immune deficiency, it means that stuff like vaccines don't work on you. It means that you're worried about getting sick constantly from everything. Whereas maybe you and I could eat a bunch of dirt, maybe going even near dirt or someone who's slightly ill 20 feet away could easily get you sick or give you a bad case of pneumonia. This disease means that Mouse pretty much can't interact with anyone and can't leave her room. And even if she wanted to, Mouse was disabled for a very long time and has slowly started to regain the ability to walk thanks to being able to finally support premium healthcare. Yay! Love America! So,
and that's, I mean, that's the thing. That's why she became a VTuber, because she didn't want you to see a sickly girl. She didn't want that, and she didn't want necessarily people's pity. I admire Iron Mouse. I really do. And for a lot of people like her, who got dealt a very bad hand in life, but they haven't let it get them down, and I don't know that I have. I don't know that I would have that strength of character. So to see that in others, I find it absolutely remarkable, and for her to be doing, the things that she's doing. The amount of good vibes, the amount of positivity that must give to other people in her position or similar, who feel like they're forgotten, who feel like, they can't have a life the same as others, who can't do things that we take for granted. That's hard. That's hardship. Not being able to buy your favorite frothy mocha latte because they've run out of coffee. That's not really a problem. There are. I massively respect her, and she's raised lots of money, for charity. Probably been able to give, quite a lot to people like her that maybe didn't have a voice before. I mean, you imagine being trapped at home. I mean, we had a taste of it during COVID, and I think Connor says this, but at least we knew that was gonna end at some point. But for people like Mouse, it hasn't ended and may not end. I hope it does. I really do. But it's just something to bear in mind. That's somebody that you're picking on for no real good reason. Like, why? She seems fairly wholesome. She gives Sea Dog like a bit of a hard time, but it's just it's fun. It's their dynamic. I do. I massively respect her, and I massively respect Connor as well, and the dynamic that they have. That's what a lot of people enjoy. A lot of people, and I think a lot of people enjoy more, just the positiveness. There's so much negative. Why do we want more of that? Do we not want more positive? Isn't that better for our health and well-being? I think, just thinking before we speak is always a good idea. I really do believe that.
So this meant the only human contact the mouse got was pretty much talking to her parents or very close family who she was kind of already adjusted to, and family who understood about the disease and took precautions. And look, I know this is a lot of information, but what I'm trying to get at is that you can only imagine how crushingly lonely this must be. Imagine not being able to leave your room. Yes, we were all there during COVID, but we at least knew that it was probably going to end at some point. And I'm sure many of you knew, me included, that this was awful for our mental health. Not being able to see the people that you care about or interact with friends or just have a casual interaction with a cashier person is
And sorry, Connor. And I actually think that we're still seeing the repercussions of that. I really do. I think that it will have. I think it will have waves that echo throughout the next few years. There will be a fallout because people just really aren't. We're social creatures, and we really don't do that well in isolation. So yeah, it's not good for your health. And when your physical health is not great, and now you've got this, the mental on top of that as well. Like that's a lot to bear. It's too much. And the fact that she was able to take that and turn it into something positive, something that helps her in being able to meet other people and talk with other people and make some friends like Connor, and for them to be able to raise a lot of money and to be able to help a lot of other people. I mean, why are we attacking that? I don't get it. I don't, and I don't know that it's helpful or necessary.
Interactions that I'm sure all of us missed. And it was thanks to VTuber technology getting so much better and more accessible that Mouse was able to stream like me or like you or like any other big streamer. It was a level playing field. And on top of that, if you were a more artistically inclined person, you could show off your artistic skills by, I don't know, costume design or singing or lore or voice acting. There's so many more facets to it than me raging at Jump King. It's talent, okay? And one of the best clips of Mouse's early career is when she's trying to raise money to get a new medical bed. Basically, normal beds, not good. They don't offer you support. They don't allow you to, go, lie upright. Basically, a lot more support. She asked her viewers if they'd be willing to donate towards that, and within minutes, they'd smash that goal.
I don't like to call my bed my bed. I don't like calling it my bed. It makes me feel very embarrassed. It makes me feel not so good. So I like to call my bed my workspace because that's where I am all the time. Fox, thank you so much for the pedally. God damn it! Now what are you doing? Now thank you so much for the dodo. Thank you.
And I think a lot of people forget that Mouse didn't use.
I mean, isn't that an amazing thing? Seeing the humanity and the generosity of people, it brings a tear to my eye. I don't mind admitting it. I so much want that than us pushing people down. Shouldn't we be pulling people up? I mean, I say this all the time, and I feel like I feel like a crazy person. Like I'm saying that the moon is made of cheese or something like. It seems logical to me that if we're pulling each other up and we're aiming more for positive. I mean, for instance, I've had crippling depression for most of my life. Very, very strong at times. But I found that there were certain patterns. I don't know why my mic is popping. That's a new thing as well. There seems to be a lot of things going on, either with OBS or with, I don't know, in video. I don't know what's going on, but something's definitely changed. But yeah, I found that certain music I was listening to wasn't healthy. things that I was consuming, viewing, wasn't good for me. And I've made a concerted effort in the sort of last sort of 5 to 10 years, maybe. I don't know the exact number of years, to try and aim more towards positive things. And if I see drama, most of the time, if I see drama, I stay away from it. I keep away from that. I don't engage with it. I don't call people wrong or right. I just don't engage. I just switch off, walk away, find the positive in life. Because I feel like it's better for you. It's better for your mental health. My friend Swift listens to a lot of music that, I mean, his choice, his life. But I used to listen to a lot of that music that would pull me down. There are certain songs even now I can't listen to. I can't listen to them anymore because those songs are connected with memories, and those memories are not good memories. Listening to that song, that unlocks that, then I'm getting down, and then it's a spiral. And so I found to stop doing that. When I'm in that mood to start drinking, I've been a heavy drinker on and off over the years. I found stop doing that so much. Certainly during and after COVID, I noticed that I was drinking a lot more, and I've weaned myself off of that. And look, I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I'm perfect. I am so far from perfect, a country mile away from being perfect, and I'm never going to tell you that. I'm a very flawed individual in a lot of ways. But we all have some flaws. It's part of what makes us us. If you took all those things away from me, as much as I think I would like that, I wouldn't necessarily be me anymore. But it's recognizing them, and then trying to go in a different direction if you can. Again, I'm making it sound like it's so easy. No, it's not. It's very hard because a lot of it is patterns. I didn't realise that the music I was listening to was having such a profound effect. And even when I did, I didn't want to admit it. But I've slowly started to realise that nothing was going to change if I didn't try and force something. So I definitely think what you consume, what you eat, drink, what you consume, media, music, it all has a profound effect on you. And just by, changing a few habits here and there, can have a dramatic impact. Well, maybe not dramatic, but can have an impact,
Used to stream long. Mouse used to only stream for like an hour or two at a time and then would go offline to take medication, but now feels comfortable enough to take the medication and still keep streaming, which I think is an amazing thing and something that the outpouring support has allowed her to do. And obviously VTubers do more than just talk and play crappy games like me. Some of them have god-tier singing skills. We all know that Mouse was training to be an opera singer and sounds incredible.
Yeah.
If you could look at me once more.
Combine that with aesthetically pleasing design.
I mean, damn! I watched the videos you put out for Halloween. Feast, time to feast, incredible. I would have liked to have put the video onto the channel, but it's Mousey's stuff. I do have another video that she's put out as a response to this. I like the original group. I like Mouse. I like this kind of her answer to this whole nonsense. I'm going to try to upload it, but I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to upset Mouse or Connor or whatever people that she has, looking after her intellectual property. And this is her intellectual property. This is Connor's property. I wasn't planning on doing the whole video, but I think the topic is really important in how we conduct ourselves, whether physically in the world or online. And we all have something to learn. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I've sometimes left a comment that later I've thought, nah, I shouldn't have done that. And I've gotten better at just, if I don't like it, just walk away, just leave the channel. And I think this is really important to talk about. But again, Connor or whoever manages Connor's affairs, if he doesn't like this, then you may not see this video. And hey, that's okay. And also, I'm a tiny, YouTuber. Whether that matters or whether it should matter, I don't know. That's a whole different conversation. But I always feel like important things like this, however many people you can reach, is got to be a good thing. And I do think this is important. But Mouse's voice and Time to Feast was just incredible. I was sat there like, wow, it's so good. And that's one of the things about I've always said about YouTube. I never would have got into K-pop without YouTube. I watched the League of Legends music videos, KDA. Loved KDA, and I was surprised myself. I didn't ever think it was music that I would ever be into, and then that just led down a rabbit hole. From KDA, it was Blackpink, BTS, and what are they called? G Idol. Some of their music now, not for me. Again, that's something I like to say now. I don't like saying I hate something, because hate is such a strong word. I don't really use that. I just say it's not for me. Because that's the truth. And not everything should be for me. Because everybody has different tastes. I'm not particularly a fan of country and western. But there's a lot of people who like it. It's just not for me. And that's okay. But yeah, and I got into K-pop and, G Idol, and who did a couple of the members were in the virtual group, KDA. Then that led to, then I found Baby Metal, which is just, I never would have found this music without YouTube. So as much as I give YouTube sticks sometimes, and there's aspects I don't like about them. Again, there's aspects that I'm critical about, but there's also other aspects that I have something positive to say. And to me, that's more of a critical way of speaking and thinking and putting across that somebody can do something about. Or we can at least have conversations about, without it turning into just, your mum. Like, yeah, none of that's useful. Constructive criticism is always going to be better, because you can do something with that. You could say to me, Sayo, you ramble too much. Absolutely. I get it. I get you, and you're right. And that's something I could maybe do something about. Probably won't, but it's constructive. We can have a conversation, but just saying, you're shit and boring. What are we gonna do with that? And that's obviously tame. There's the there's the comments that, go F yourself, or something like, what do you do with that? It's not helpful. It doesn't do anything. But yeah, I mean, incredible singing voice. And you're telling me that that's boring? Really? I don't get it. I don't get your argument, if there even is one, which I don't think there is. I don't feel like there is.
Signs that are constantly changing, and it's no wonder that VTubers eventually had their boom. Now, obviously, Twitch and YouTube have always been very gamer-centric and gamer-focused, and gamers aren't exactly known for being the most chill and reasonable people. Look, I
mean, again, I've always had a bit of a problem with this. You're doing, you've just done a 40-hour week, 50-hour week, 60-hour week, whatever, and you come home and, there's work and your boss is on your back and, your wife, girlfriend, children maybe, or maybe none of that. And, you just want to relax. And then you go onto a game and, you're breaking, keyboards and mice can be very expensive, and the controllers, and you're breaking that stuff, and you're getting so angry and worked up. Like, for me, I don't get it. That's not relaxing. I don't. I've never. When watching a movie sometimes, and it's getting to an exciting bit, I admit I get a little bit amped up, but it's not like I get up and like jump out my seat and like go outside and like punch my neighbor. I mean, I don't know, maybe some people have or do, but I don't know. But generally, it's not good. And again, yes, like you're saying, we've all made mistakes, but you make mistakes and you learn from them and kind of move on and, learn to do better. But the internet lately, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
As a Call of Duty kid, if I said the things that I said in those lobbies and they were recorded, I would not be here today. I would not have a career or any career. I was toxic, okay? Now look, I've been a content creator for 10 plus years online. It's been my entire adult life. I've been doing this for so long that I'm a fossil in internet years. And even before that, I would pretty much only spend my time on the internet. And it was normal that as a creator that you would get some kind of hatred towards you, or some people who would just blindly write mean comments. It was part of the job. Doesn't mean it's a good part or that we should accept it, but it's just kind of how it was. And because every creator would get a bunch of hate comments here and there was kind of a mutual respect amongst creators that you wouldn't just blindly insult each other for no reason. You wouldn't insult someone you didn't know or you didn't have beef with. It was...
I feel like that's... I mean, again, am I crazy? I feel like that's common sense. Like, surely? I don't know.
A thing that you could expect because that's how normal people behave. However, nowadays it kind of feels like that's not the case anymore. It feels like it's kind of encouraged or okay to punch down and make fun of other creators that you don't like or you think that something's weird about them. And this has happened a lot with VTubers. For example, in 2022, a massive TikTok creator, Noah Glenn Carter, made a video mocking the fact that people wanted to meet Mouse virtually. Here you go.
This might be the saddest video on the internet. So I want you to take a look at all these people. They were all trying to get the attention of a monitor. Basically, that's a popular VTuber on the monitor that was virtually attending an anime convention. And this whole crowd of people were following the monitor in hopes that they could get a picture with it.
Now, obviously, you and I know that Mouse can't leave her room, and this is the only way that Mouse can walk around a convention or see any of her viewers, or any of those viewers can talk to Mouse. It's a rare experience for everyone involved, and an amazing feat of technology that we can even do anything like this. And to his credit, he did apologize.
This is an apology to a creator called Iron Mouse because of this video. Now, in my video on this, I called the video one of the saddest videos on the internet, which is completely unnecessary on my part. And Iron Mouse actually responded, clarifying that the people weren't even crowding her, but instead they were crowding somebody named Connor that was there. I'm really sorry to you, Iron Mouse, if you're watching. My video was completely unnecessary. I really hope that my video didn't cause you any kind of negativity or anything. And again, I am so sorry if it did. I will be deleting that video as soon as I post this one.
First of all,
I mean,
second of all, you didn't think that.
I mean, okay. At least he apologized. I guess, kind of. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, should we not be celebrating technology and how good it's got that we? And I've always said this about I'm a fan of technology. I've always been a fan of technology. I'm fascinated that we can use technology to overcome obstacles, particularly for people that, like I said, as with like Mouse and many people like her, got dealt a bad hand in life. That we can use technology to help them overcome those obstacles. I feel like that's a positive, good thing. And yes, I know technology, like anything else, has its pros and its cons. Everything does. People will be like, oh, kids, they're always on their phones. They're not looking where they're going. But that's not the technology. That's the people using the technology. We, as humans, have to do better. We have to, we control the technology. The technology doesn't control us, and we have to be careful of that. And hey, I'm telling you as somebody who's, who plays video games way too much, is on YouTube way too much. Like, I understand. I'm part of that as well. But I also am moderating more what I look at and what I consume. So I'm also trying to do my part. But technology can be a wonderful thing. And, I particularly love robotics. I'm very into robotics. One day we're going to have robots that we will be able to do jobs that are just way too dangerous for people, that people shouldn't be doing. We're going to be able to, that there are like these robot dogs that can go into when there's been like earthquakes, that they can go into the rubble and look for people. There's lots of ways we can use technology to better advance us as humans, and particularly empathy and compassion. Surely these things should be what we're promoting. I mean, no. I mean, we've had years of war, and we've seen how that went. That didn't go particularly well. Should we not try something else? Or am I the crazy one? But the fact that we've got this technology and we can use it, and people just mocking something that they don't understand, it shows a lack of awareness. No, not even, just not trying to understand, or not trying to do research into something that you don't understand. If I don't understand something, I tend to ask questions. And that's so much easier now. We have the internet. Anything, although Google doesn't seem as good as it used to be, but anything you want to find out about, the internet, there's the answer. I mean, there's maybe too much information. That's a whole different thing. But it can be a great resource for information.
There was going to be any negativity? What do you mean by that? And now look, to Noah's credit, he did apologize and take down the video. And I think that needs to be commended, as a lot of people don't have the common decency to do that anymore. But would you not have taken it down if nobody complained?
No.
If everyone joined in, haha, let's make fun of it. Would you not have taken it down?
No, because money these days. People just want to, again, money can be a useful resource, but it's also, it's not something that's your friend. You know, if if you want to dig a hole, you go and get a spade. But you don't love the spade. It's not, it's not a prized possession. It's a tool. It's a tool for doing a specific job. Money is no different. You need to eat. You need to go to the store to get to get the food to eat. You need money. But people are chasing that money so hard that morals and ethics seem to go out of the window. Which, is that how we want the future to be? Is that how we envision things going forward? I mean, I'll be dead. I don't care. You go right ahead. But for a lot of you, like for any young people watching this, is that what you want your future to look like? I don't know. It's your choice, not mine. But I feel like it might be a mistake.
Or did you take it down just because people were like, hey man, you're kind of a dick? The reason why I show you this is not because I want to send any hatred. This is 2 years ago. It does not matter. It's over. Do not send hatred towards another creator. And if you do, you're a piece of shit and you should not be here. But why is it now that you can just dunk on something that you don't know anything about, you don't understand, and you didn't bother to research into? Why is that the norm now? Why is it that you just post first and research second? Oh, I got some hate about this. I'll take it down. Don't worry about the other 500 videos where I blindly made fun of people I don't understand. The sad truth now is that it seems like it's okay if you're a large creator to be a dick to anybody you want or don't like or don't agree with. Having a large audience is a huge, huge responsibility. Whether we like it or not, we are influencers. We influence people with our opinions and what we say. I'm sure some people watching this video right now will be influenced by my opinion on all of this stuff. That's how it goes. But for some reason, it's okay now to blindly hate others and send rabid fans to go and attack people and stuff they don't understand. Why? It's hard enough just existing right now. It is horrible living in this year. It is a miserable time to be alive. Why are we making it harder for everyone? And if you're
I don't know. Honestly, I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. Like, just, men and women are at each other's throats. Black, white, Asian. Gay people. I mean, watching people attack other people for wanting to play a video game and making one girl cry is the most. I think it's the most disgusted I've been in a while. I mean, I can't say ever because I've seen some things. But it was one of the most disgusting things I'd seen in a while. And whether you agree, J.K. Rowling, whatever, it was people that generally had nothing to do with that. They just wanted to play a video game because they liked Harry Potter. They liked the idea. That was it. And people actively going out of their way. And there seemed to be no consequences to their actions. Nobody seemed to do anything. We all sat there and watched it happen, and I was waiting for people like people in control of these platforms to go no. Didn't seem to. Now, I might be wrong. I mean, I saw it. I witnessed a bit of it, and I thought, I don't like this. And like I said, these days, when it comes to drama and negative, I've got a fight or flight, and I'm flighting. I'm out of there. I don't want it anymore. I'm coming to the end of my life. I mean, it's not that dramatic, but, I'm getting older. I don't want to spend whatever I have left being negative. I spent way too much of my life doing that, you know, I don't want to do it anymore. I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's healthy for me. I don't think it's for healthy people coming into contact with me. I mean, generally now, I stay in my home, keep myself to myself, which is an amazingly powerful thing, to just sit and just bother nobody. It's good, but yeah, I didn't think it was a good thing. And just seeing people being attacked over a video game, it was so vile. Yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know. I'm seeing the direction that we're going in, and it doesn't feel like the right direction. I've always felt like the world is getting it. I don't think, I know, the world has gotten better, generally. You know, it's never going to be perfect, but we were getting there. But I feel the last sort of few years, rather than going forward, we seem to be going backwards. And I don't know why. I think often the message is good, you know, equality and inclusion. I still believe that these are good things. I do. I think the message is good. But the implementation? No. No, the implementation is to try and bully and be derogatory and call people slur names if they don't agree with you. Kind of bullying. To try and push people in a direction that you want them to go. And even if it's the right direction, it's still not the way to do it, because those people will resent it, they will push back from it, because you can't generally force people into doing things that they don't want to do. We had that in the past, and we're still talking about that. And we're still realising the consequences of how bad that was, and yet we're still trying to force people and push people that are not ready for it. I think the message is good. All people should be included, obviously, and everybody should be equal, yes. To, you know, mostly. There will always be some caveats to it, but generally I agree. Obviously. I keep saying obviously, like it's common sense, but like for some people it seems to not be. I don't know where we're going, and again, doesn't necessarily bother me. I got one foot in the grave. But I do wonder about the future generations.
VTuber, it is kind of just accepted now that you just get this level of blind hatred all the time. It's insane. Why is this okay? Anyway, moving on with the timeline. Since then, Mouse, and I assume most VTubers, have had to deal with insult after insult that is normalized. For Mouse personally, this level of hatred and vitriol escalated another level when Mouse was nominated for the Game Awards. Now, the Game Awards have this category for Content Creator of the Year. Obviously, this year had a massive amount of...
Hang on a minute. Oh. The PMG. Okay, I don't know a lot of those people, unfortunately. No. iMouse. People make games. I don't actually know a lot of these people. I mean, I watch a lot of YouTube, but I don't necessarily watch what's popular necessarily. Some of it might not be for me. Some of it might not be aimed at... You know, I might not be the target audience. I don't watch everything that Mouse does. But I watch things, from time to time. I'm I'm very much one of those people who, rather than just having, just one meal, I pick at things. I have a bit of this and I have a bit of that, and that tends to be my personality. So I'll watch a video on some YouTube videos on cooking, and then Gordon shouting at people, and, calling them. I can't remember what he said. I'll watch some of that, and then I'll watch some videos on dancers. Then I'll watch Mouse being a space marine. I loved that video, and so I watch a lot of different things. But I don't know that I necessarily follow people. Again, I mean, even Mouse. I feel like it. I like Blackpink. I wouldn't consider myself a Blink. I like Baby Metal. Ratatata with Electric Callboy was phenomenal, and now I like Electric Callboy, and now I've gone down that avenue. And I like this exploration, but I don't necessarily. I don't want to be one of their acolytes. I don't want to be one of their followers. I don't know that it's healthy, because again, the K-pop, the K-pop sort of world, I've seen a lot of toxicity. A lot of people, criticizing Kim. Is it Kim? Jenny. From Blackpink, I think something Kim. Yeah, and they're criticizing her about something, and it's just like, what? And or somebody will make a video pointing out something about a K-pop group, and then everybody attacks those, and it's just like, why? I don't feel like making it's a whole white knighting thing. I don't feel like I need to necessarily white knight or follow people necessarily, or be for them or against them. I tend to, there's things I like, there's things I don't like. I feel like that's fairly normal, like most people. But I don't need to, I don't need to shit on the things I don't like, and I don't need to praise up the things, put on a pedestal the things that I do like. I don't mind pointing them out, going, hey, this is cool, what do you guys think of it? And some of you won't like it, and some of you might like it. It's, I don't know, it's just, I don't think it's healthy. So I don't know a lot of these people, but not because I don't like them. Just YouTube is a big place, and also how YouTube feeds you things is kind of odd sometimes. Like, there are people that I'm subscribed to, and I'll see their videos, and then after a while it's not serving me those videos anymore, and all of a sudden I'll be like, what happened to... Did they stop making videos? And I'll go and look, and it's like, no, they're still making videos. They made a video a day ago, but YouTube isn't showing me those anymore. Whether it's because, like, it doesn't want to overwhelm me or something, I don't. I feel like there must be a reason for it. I don't know whether it's a a good reason or a bad reason. I don't know, but there must be a reason as to why. But yeah, it's like,
of the year. Obviously, this year had a massive amount of very, very big creators that I'm sure we're all familiar with. But to the surprise of Mouse, and to most of us, Mouse got nominated. And then this isn't saying that Mouse didn't deserve it. Mouse had an amazing year. Mouse had raised a ton of money for charity, had broken the all-time sub record for a woman on Twitch, and had done just some of the most amazing shit when you consider that Mouse is bedridden and has to have medication every single day that completely changes how any of this would be done, and providing
Yeah, I'm. A lot of us, I'm pretty much abled, fully abled, and I haven't done half of what she's done. How can I turn around and criticize her? Really? And how can a lot of these people who probably haven't done half of what she's done, given the constraints that she works against as well, and we're criticizing her, and not just Mouse, but like other people as well. I don't want this to be all just about Mouse. I like Mouse. I she's somebody I admire, but again, I don't need to white knight her, and I'm not going to, or Connor. But at the same time, I recognize I can't do half of what she does. I cannot sing for anything. I can't even carry a note. And she has the voice of, you hear it and it's like, ooh, like. So I again, it's to what position in life do I feel like I've got to, that I can criticize others? If you live in a glass house, you probably shouldn't be throwing diamonds about, something like that. I don't quite remember how that goes. I made that up.
Such an insane energy to every stream, whilst battling a ton of medical issues that are permanent throughout Mouse's life. I think the nomination is deserved. And by some sheer miracle, Mouse had won the award. It was a crazy achievement, and nobody expected Mouse to win, to be honest, because Mouse was by far the smallest creator out of the ones that were nominated.
And the Game Award goes to Iron Mouse. So, Iron Mouse couldn't be here tonight because Iron Mouse is animated, and sadly, we're not in the Matrix yet.
Obviously, these creators were massive.
That was a bit odd how the lady explained it, and I'm not picking on it. It was just an odd turn of phrase, but But again, like, she's getting hate because she won something? Are people so... I don't know. Are people so miserable in their own lives that, like, they can't feel some joy for somebody who made it? Isn't that kind of worrying?
And a lot of their fans that are watching the Game Awards were a bit upset about Mouse winning the award. This has led to a constant, and I cannot preface this enough, a constant stream of hatred now that Mouse has had to deal with openly on all of her socials for years now. This is the level of hatred that is normally, like, I just gotta show you. I gotta show you. It's like ridiculous. This is 2022. Back when Mouse's comments were pretty normal, I'd say. As you can see here, this is beating Kai. Okay, a little negative and unnecessary, but not that bad. This over Kai? Bro, who are you? And luckily at this point, not all the comments are like this, but they're by far the most liked ones. And it only gets worse the closer we get to today. We all came from that Kai video, right? This is #1 streamer. No Way Blood, this is #1 streamer. This is who gets #1 on Twitter.
No Way Blood? What does that mean?
Twitch. It's an evil world we live in. And you'd think, okay, maybe something happened at the...
It's an evil world we live in? What? It's an evil world we live in that a girl won an award. What? Hitler? No? Genghis Khan? Whatever his name is in North Korea? Putin? No. None, that's all fine. But a girl winning an award
the time, this has been pretty much constant until now. Speed and Kai on top. How is the streamer of the year? How is the streamer of the year? This won the award, by the way. Oh, hell nah. This is who won. No cap, who's Iron Mouse. Brain rot. This beats Cypher PK. Game awards are wild.
Judging from the language, this is young people. The language is slang. Yeah, I feel like this is very young people. And again, I feel like again, social media and young people. I mean, not to say that adults can't be problematic, and these are probably not all young people, but I feel like, you know, there's a large ratio. Young people and social media, you know, I feel like that's a conversation we should be having, and the pros and cons. I mean, everybody goes on about pornography, which I agree. Again, what you expose young minds to matters. I know that there are 10-year-olds playing Call of Duty. I'm fairly sure it's an 18-rated game, if it hasn't been changed or, you know, toned down maybe to get a broader audience, more money, basically. But yeah, I know. And I know that because I was a kid, and I used to sneak downstairs and watch 18-rated films that my mum forbade me from watching because she knew that The Fly was not going to be right for my age. But I went downstairs and watched The Fly anyway. Guess what? Had nightmares. Yeah. Who saw that coming? What you expose young minds to is very, very important. What I've often been against with censorship is when it's adults. As adults, we should be free to make our own choices. And with those choices come consequences. That's how that should work. And so I've always been against censorship. I have to play a video game and it be censored because children or parents may not do their job properly, and that child plays that game. So because that child plays that game, and a child may be playing a game, therefore I have to have a video game that is supposed to be for adults, but isn't. That's the sort of thing I have a problem with. And also it's because obviously the developer, if they can have more people playing it, well, that's better for profit, that's better for money, it's better for analytics and things like that. What you expose young minds to is important. And I think clearly, maybe, again, it should be at least a conversation that social media and young people, maybe not a good idea? Question mark.
Why did you win? No way this won Creator of the Year. I'm crying. This literally goes on and on. And you'd think, okay, look, it's because Mouse won the Streamer of the Year. It probably stops after that. Oh no. So many people are like, post this on Instagram Reels. Post this on Reels. Oh yeah, great. Because love that. Love being toxic on Instagram. Bro, who are you? I'm begging you, please post this on Instagram. Why do people just want to be so cruel? What the f***? Just chill the f*** out, man. Who the f*** is watching this? This thing has the most subs on Twitch. How did you beat Kai? No human being on the planet wearing this. Okay, well, I wear it and it's f***ing fire. Okay, jeez. On my life, I've never in my entire life seen a single stream. Why do you care? Why?
if you've never seen a single stream, then yeah, then who cares? Just move on with your life. It doesn't matter. Is it because you feel left out because everybody's talking about it and because you have to fit in or something? Is that what it is? I don't know.
Like, if I just haven't seen something, I just don't interact. I don't understand what has happened where we all feel
I know grown-ass men do this. I'm not particularly into football. It's not my thing. But I know that you'll go. I worked in factories. In a factory setting, a lot of guys talk about football. There were guys in my last job, and they talked about football. And I know that there were people there that weren't into it, but they would talk about it, and they would collect enough information to know just enough, so that they could fit in to the conversation. So, and I get it, but I also don't know that that's healthy. Trying to fit into something when it's not something that you're into. It's not your group. It's not your people. It's not your thing. But you force yourself in order to be able to join the conversation. I get why. I get it. Nobody wants to feel like an outsider, inclusion and all that. Again. But it's not healthy. I even tried it myself and failed miserably. I didn't know. I didn't know what at one point I didn't even know what I was on about. I'm just naming footballers that I think I've heard of. Just don't do it. It's just,
the need to say our opinion and be like, yeah, guys, we hate this, right? Who cares? You're a loser. This has gone on for months. It's pretty much just led to Mouse just not posting on TikTok, which I feel is really f***ed up. You can just successfully bully a massive creator off a platform. The reason why this all happened, by the way, is just because Mouse won an award. What? And this is just the stuff that Mouse gets on her own socials. This doesn't include the hatred that she receives from just existing in those posts from those low-tier bait Twitter accounts that post, "Can you believe this cartoon is beating Mars streamer, guys?" And it only escalated once more when Iron Mouse got the all-time sub record on Twitch, which led to a bunch of news articles tweeting about it and people talking about it. And unfortunately, a lot of people were just being blindly hateful. And of course, this level of hatred doesn't just stay on the platforms you'd expect it to, it's also in Mouse's chat. Here is a 85-page document of just some recent bans of people saying the most heinous shit towards Mouse. Now, you're telling me this bitch-ass VTuber surpassed Kai Cenat? God, you know these people are so ugly. Just sad how Sims donate to this crap. This is the bitch that broke Kai's record. I refuse to believe any of you are real human beings, unless you have less than 60 IQ. No one in this chat is real. I've been watching this shit for 10 minutes and I want to kill myself. How do people watch this shit, you weirdos? You'll never get
I feel like a lot of it is just for attention. It's gotta be. A lot of it is just people writing it for... I mean, you'll never get on Kai's level. You're not on Kai's level. Like, what are you doing? Why are you speaking for another person? It's like when people get offended for, on behalf of somebody else. I actually wonder, going back to the whole drama with Hogwarts Legacy, and people were attacking, people for wanting to play a game, play a video game. I wonder how many of those people were actually of that community. I'm not saying that some of them were not, but I wonder how many were talking on behalf of a community that they're not actually a part of. Maybe their friend is, or or a sister, brother, whatever, but weren't actually a part of that group necessarily. or maybe knew nobody in that group, but wanted to jump on the wagon and feel virtuous, because this is what we do a lot, you know, the whole virtual signaling. And we all do it. Maybe even I do it. I try to, you know, balance. Again, I try to balance things out. But I wonder how many of those people attacking people for wanting to play a video game were actually part of that community. And how many people in that actual community were just saying nothing, were just sitting there going, it's a video game. They just want to play a video game, like, you know. And I bet you there was. I saw a YouTube video a while ago. Somebody talking, you know, a person from the gay community, and he was talking about how, you know, how horrified he is sometimes of people that are a part of his own community. That he was just like, I don't understand these people, and they don't necessarily speak for me. Yes, I'm a kind of a part of this community. I think he even didn't really like being considered part of the community. But it was just like, I don't get these people, and I wonder how much that goes on. And it's the same here. You know, people talking on behalf of Kai. Kai can, yeah, he can speak for himself if he needs to. Why are you speaking on behalf of him? It's odd, isn't it? And I do feel like a lot of it is attention. It's just wanting to say something for the sake of saying something, I think.
On Kai's level. You guys know this is a fat guy, right? Amongst obviously all those insults, a lot of people saying that Mouse is lying about her illness, which, I mean, I don't have to tell you why that's wrong. Like, look at this. This is psychotic. This is f***ed up. How is this okay? And by the way, this is the list, obviously, that doesn't include the N-word bans, or that would be another 20 pages. Because of course it would be. Like if this was my chat, I just would not stream. I would just not show up. This is f***ed. 100%. I want to make this clear. I'm not blaming any creator. Obviously, we saw a lot of people name dropping Kai, saying how could this lose to Kai and all that stuff. This is not me blaming Kai in any capacity. I think his audience is at the size that is absolutely absurd. And at that level, you can try and tell your viewers, hey man, look, be respectful, which Kai has on numerous times. He's openly praised Iron Mouse and been very supportive towards small creators.
Iron Mouse has always been top 5 all time. She's somebody I had to pass during my first subathon. Now, I know people are defensive. I know a lot of people defend me and shit like that. But Chad, if you actually looked at her stream and actually kept up with what she's doing, you feel what I'm saying? Not only was it for a good cause, but it was pretty well put together.
But obviously, you know, as a creator, you do still have some influence over your viewers. And I think it's important to make sure that when you see this behavior in the community that you call it out. And I'm not...
Yeah, I mean, that is one thing I'll say about Asmongold. He doesn't put up with any nonsense, and you can say what you like about the guy. I don't agree with everything he says, but I do find that a lot of what he says makes sense in my brain, at least. And that's not... Again, it's not that I know everything. And sometimes, maybe often, I'm wrong. Yeah, I can be wrong. I'm only human. But I think even contemplating the idea that you might be wrong is at least a step forward in the right direction. There are people that will swear blind that the moon is made of cheese, and you will not convince them that they are wrong, no matter how much evidence you put in front of them. It's not going to happen. And, you know, he does not put up with it. If people are being rude to others or to himself, that's it. They're done. He gets rid of them. And we need more of that. But I also think that, I mean, I I don't know what the answer is, because again, I am an advocate for free speech. I am. I don't think we want to live in a world where, you know, you're told what you can say and what you can't say, although in some ways we seem to be going down that avenue. I think it's more of people understanding that not everything needs to be said out loud. You can think whatever you like. You know, I can look at a hot female and think all sorts of things. But what I say, nothing. Not everything needs to be spoken. And I feel like it's that we've got away from. Yes, I believe in free speech, and yes, I don't like censorship, and I've always felt that way, but at the same time, there has to be a line. There has to be some kind of balance. Everything is a balancing act. And if you're swinging too far one way or the other way, that's generally not good for, you know, most people, the majority of people. That, you know, there was always, growing up, there was always, you know, some things just weren't said, you know? Because you don't need to.
Not entirely sure when this happened online, but it feels like it's okay to just blindly make fun or hate something you don't understand or have not learned anything about. But I guess that is more of a reflection of the current times we live in, because everyone seems to do that all the time. As a creator, I would be embarrassed if I saw my viewers blindly hating on someone else using my name. I would be mortified if I saw that. And the one good thing about all...
Yeah, I would not like that at all. Don't ever speak for me. I can speak for myself. No. I would be, I would be horrified. I mean, I just do this for a bit of fun. I'm not going to be, you know, as big as Sea-Dog, and I don't want to be, because with that comes a level of, you know, recognition and, you know, fame and things that I'd have to deal with that I really don't want to. It's just a bit of fun. It's not that deep. Just make videos about things that, you know, I feel like are important or are interesting. Maybe a bit of positivity, if I can. But without trying to push it down people's throats as well. Again, it's trying to find a balance. But I wouldn't want that. And I honestly feel like most, you know, YouTubers, Twitch streamers wouldn't want it either. I don't want people, you don't want people speaking on your behalf. That would be awful.
All you guys is that I know that you don't do that. And I appreciate that,
No,
because you're all
try not
cool
to.
and you're all normally well-adjusted people, I hope. And look,
Hopefully.
I'll admit, I don't have a point of this video. I don't have a plan. I was just going crazy looking at all of this open hatred and losing my mind, wondering why this is normal. That was literally it. And that's the reason why I'm making this video. And I kind of wanted to ask if anyone else or any other VTubers or any other even YouTubers, if you've experienced this same kind of level of blind hatred yourself. I would love to hear about it, just so that I know that I'm not going crazy. I hope we can have a civilized and good discussion in the comments. And so with that, I wish you all the best of luck. Don't let these urinal cake eating children distract you from what you want to do in life. Now I'm going to go drink a beer. Bye.
Yeah. And that's it, you know, it's just, if we can just even have discussions, you know, open conversations without hostility, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't feel good, you know. Nobody should should be doing that, hating on people, and particularly people that are doing nothing wrong. Iron Mouse has done nothing wrong to anybody. Why? It feels so unnecessary. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the crazy one. I have no idea at this point. Sometimes I see things and I doubt myself. I really do. I doubt, like, huh? But yeah, all right. That's it. If you liked it, cool. If you didn't, fair enough. I don't think it's a good direction. That's all. So till the next one. Bye. Stay safe, and just try and be cool with each other, like, or just walk away. I don't know. Bye.